From TV shows to movies to music videos to advertisements, women of all colors are represented differently. We're going to explore how Black women in particular are represented, where these ideas originated, and how stereotypical these portrayals are. We have selected various clips from movies and TV shows of the 20th and 21st century in which we think these common portrayals are presented. First off, we have to define a stereotype. According to the Oxford Dictionary, a stereotype is a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing. In analyzing these portrayals, we will look at three factors to decide how stereotypical they are. Do they discuss a particular type of person? Are they widely held perceptions? And are they oversimplified? First, we have the Jezebel. She's over-sexualized and has an insatiable libido. Completely lacking in virtue, she's a woman who uses her sexuality to manipulate and deceive. Foxy Brown is a Black woman living in 1974 America. In the opening credits, she dances in her underwear and at the beginning of the film readily performs oral sex for her lover in his hospital room.
Let me make you feel fine. Loving you just blows my mind. This love I have for you is true.
When her lover is killed, she seeks revenge. She poses as a prostitute to infiltrate the quote-unquote modeling agency run by the people responsible for her lover's death.
Now, Miss Catherine, let's cut all the bull. I know perfectly well what business you're in, and I couldn't care less about all this phony modeling. Now, I've come here for one reason only. This is where the money's at. Now, I know just how long I have to make it in, and I intend to make it good while I can. So let's you and me stop wasting each other's precious time. You tell me who you want done, and I'll do the hell out of it, if the price is right.
In her search for revenge, Foxy wears skimpy outfits, has men staring at her wistfully, and is even drugged and raped.
Yes, Miss Catherine, I'll do it. I promise.
You all have the best hairdressers in the city. You have everything you need to look your absolute best. There's no excuse for slovenliness. You, Jennifer, you look like you just woke up from a 3-day drunk. Your face is puffy and your makeup is too thick trying to cover it up.
Bunyan. Bunyan! Ease off a minute, will you, man? Have a little finesse. Save some for later.
Oh, I've got plenty for later.
Throughout the movie, it is clear that she uses her body to manipulate, deceive, and get revenge. Jezebel is also seen in Die Another Day in the form of a Bond girl. When we first see Giacinta Johnson, also known as Jinx, she emerges from the ocean scantily clad in a bright orange bikini. Like Foxy Brown, she's a spy, which emphasizes the manipulative nature of the Jezebel. Furthermore, after a 5-minute conversation filled with innuendos, she has sex with Bond and leaves in the morning, reinstating the Jezebel's lack of virtue. Jinx does not have a lot of screen time, but when she does, her conversations often take a sexual route. European conquerors who explored the virgin land of Africa noticed African women's lack of clothing and the common practice of polygamy, which was used to fight the threateningly low populations. They therefore concluded that the women were trying to seduce them. Fast forward to slavery in America, female slaves were often raped by their masters who never faced justice, as legally the slaves were their property and seen as sexual objects. This was particularly beneficial due to the partus sequitur ventrum law, which meant the child of a slave assumed their mother's status, therefore their master gained a free slave. The Jezebel was derived from Jezebel, princess of Israel, and religiously the name is now associated with misleading saints of God into sins of idolatry and sexual immorality by manipulation and/or seduction. The Jezebel appears to be a manipulative and immoral woman who becomes a victim of rape and a breeding animal. Foxy Brown is raped multiple times throughout the film, which is synonymous with the treatment of the Jezebel during slavery. And each time she is raped by white men. Next, we have the Mammy. She's overweight, asexual, religious, maternal, and loyal to the white people in her life. And it seems she has no personality or individuality. A good example of the Mammy portrayal is shown in Gone with the Wind. There isn't much to say about Mammy from Gone with the Wind other than she loves the O'Hara family, particularly Scarlett and Ellen, and she is in charge of the domestic affairs of the household. Mammy, yes, her name is really Mammy, is the loyal, overweight slave of the O'Haras and is depicted as eager to be subservient.
Ooh! Just hold on and suck in.
Mammy, here's Miss Scarlett's pickles.
You can take that all back to the kitchen. I won't need to buy it.
Oh, yes, you is. You's going to eat every mouthful of this.
I'm not. We'll put on the dress, because we're late already.
What my lamb going to wear?
That?
No, you ain't. You can't show your bosom for 3 o'clock. I'm going to speak to your ma about you.
If you say one word to Mother, I won't need to buy it.
Well. Keep the shawl on your shoulder. I ain't even free to get all freckled after the buttermilk I done put on you all this winter. Reaching in my circles.
Although she is described to be wise and intelligent, she constantly fusses over Scarlett and her family. And although she is worthy of love, she has no romantic relationship or any family from whom she can receive said love and affection. The Mammy can also be seen in Tom and Jerry. Mammy Two Shoes is often seen with cleaning appliances and it is associated with housework. Another attribute connected to the Mammy. She, like Mammy in Gone with the Wind, is overweight, constantly busying herself with domestic work and appears to not have a life outside of the house. She is known for giving Tom orders, finding him disobeying them and therefore beating him or throwing him out of the house as punishment.
This is no place for a
Although we only see her face once or twice in the Tom and Jerry series, Mammy Two Shoes has the physical attributes associated with the Mammy. So how did the Mammy come about? This portrayal was used to encourage the perception that slavery was an institution which benefited the inherently nurturing and maternal characteristics of black women. Furthermore, it implied that black women embraced their nurturing ability as nannies for white families. She was given traditionally unattractive physical attributes to show that black women were undesirable and white men were not attracted to them. In the case of the Mammy, it seems she has no personality or individuality and is totally oriented to her white family. In the media pieces, neither Mammy, Two Shoes, nor Mammy have any romantic relationships, and no one expresses that kind of interest to them. And finally, we have the Sapphire. She's nagging, angry, hostile, aggressive, and most of all, emasculating. Sapphire is married to Kingfish, a lazy and at times immoral man always looking to make quick cash, even if it means duping his friends. Sapphire often rebukes him and his schemes.
When are you going to bring home some money?
Unquote.
Look at these bills. What are we going to do about them?
Well, honey, we'll pay this one.
Pay it with what?
Well, I might get a refund on my income tax.
What income tax? You haven't had an income since there was a tax.
Oh, been that long, huh?
George Stevens, I'm laying down the law right now. I went over and saw the manager of the Eagle Arms Apartments today and got you the job as doorman.
Doorman?
Yes, and you're going to take it.
She points her finger at Kingfish, raises her voice, insults him, and evidently was emasculating and nagging enough to have a common portrayal named after her.
$50.
George Stevens, it was bad enough opening Andy's letter. You ain't thinking about jipping him out of that coin, is you?
Who, me? Innocent Stevens? I'll say I is.
Well, you just better not, because I ain't gonna stand for no more trouble around here. You understand that? And if you start jipping Andy or anybody else, I'm gonna break every bone in your body.
Gina Copeland, Marcus's wife, is portrayed to be constantly nagging and suspicious of Marcus's fidelity. Her fashion sense could be described as hoochie or ghetto.
Okay, so much for a hot meal. Hey, baby.
Don't hey, baby me. I can't believe you had me sitting here all night worried about you.
All night? Baby, it's only 8 o'clock. Look, after work, me and Kevin, we went down to the bar and we just had a couple of drinks.
I know. I called the bar. They said you left at 7:45. I checked MapQuest, Marcus. It only takes 6 minutes to get there from here. So if you've got somebody on the side, Marcus, you need to tell me.
During their one-sided conversations, Gina is never lost for words, she rolls her neck and is constantly frustrated with Marcus and his antics. The Sapphire is linked with the Mammy in that they both run the home. However, the Sapphire is devoid of any maternal attributes. This portrayal really started with the perception of the matriarch, who is the mother in the slave families, and exercised authority. She not only runs the family, but works as well, sometimes even with the men in the field. This painted the black woman as breadwinners and lacking femininity, and as a result, emasculating. Angela Davis wrote, "The notorious cliché, the emasculating female, has its roots in the fallacious inference that in playing a central part in the slave family, the black woman related to the slaveholding class as collaborator." The perception then developed in the 1950s American sitcom Amos and Andy, from which the Sapphire got her name. The sources of her anger, pain, and grief are normally ignored, thus trivializing it and making her deserving of ill treatment. Like we see with Gina and Sapphire, whenever they are on screen, they appear to be angry with their husbands. So back to the 3 questions. Do they discuss a particular type of person? Are they widely held perceptions? And are they oversimplified? Let's start with the Jezebel. She's sexual, deceitful, and manipulative in order to get what she wants. And she is shown in Foxy Brown and Die Another Day. The Jezebel does discuss a particular type of person, i.e. black women. And the perception of black women having an insatiable sexual appetite was widely held during slavery, as it was used in a defense argument in rape trials. In their portrayals, their characters did have some sort of depth to them. However, a critical part of their personalities were based on an oversimplified perception. Secondly, the Mammy, who's maternal, overweight, and asexual. She's depicted in Tom and Jerry and Gone with the Wind. The Mammy also discusses a particular type of person, being black women. The idea of black women being inherently maternal was a widely held perception during slavery, and they were often nannies for white families. In their portrayals, the characters Mammy and Mammy Two Shoes are very two-dimensional as they don't have any character development, and their purpose is solely to satisfy the white families they work for. And finally, we have the Sapphire, who's nagging, aggressive, and emasculating, and is portrayed in Amos and Andy and White Chicks. Like the Mammy and the Jezebel, the Sapphire discusses a particular type of person, being black women. The perception of black women being angry and emasculating doesn't go as far back as the other two perceptions, and so was not as widely held. Its widespread sprouted from the 1950s American sitcom Amos and Andy. In their portrayals, they improve with time in that Sapphire's anger seems to be trivialized in Amos and Andy, but in White Chicks, we learn the source of Gina's anger. Marcus doesn't pay attention to her, and that enables the audience to sympathize with her. Although these portrayals are somewhat stereotypical in varying degrees, the future is looking bright, as each day we see that these stereotypes are slowly dissolving. There are more black women in power and more diverse characters for black women to play in media. With each coming year, more and more black women are receiving Academy Awards. Hattie McDaniel being the first in 1939 for playing Mammy in Gone with the Wind. And now actresses like Jennifer Hudson, Whoopi Goldberg, Monique, and Viola Davis are being awarded for roles that don't necessarily come under any of these common portrayals.